Hey y'all, welcome back to our very bookish channel. My name's Amanda and my friend Jen and I run this channel together, and we are going to be doing an ARC review for you guys today. We're going to be reviewing Dragon Rider by Taran Matharu. Alright, so I was lucky enough to receive an ARC copy of this book, and funny story, y'all, I was so careful with this book. I tried to keep it in the very best condition. I tried to not bend it or damage it in any way. And one day I had this book out because I was going to be part of a TBR video, and I set it down on my chair and I forgot that it was in my chair, and I went to sit down and I bent this corner up right here. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh no, I didn't want to hurt it. I don't fix it. You know, like I was like stressing out about damaging this book. For some reason, I don't know. I just don't like my books damaged. I guess I just don't like them really worn. I like them to keep them in good condition. I don't like to have cracked spines or anything like that. So long story short, this book has been through it, y'all. It's been wet. It's been sit on, it's been thrown down, it has gone on trips with me. I've been reading in the car, I've been throwing it in my bag and taking it places with me. So this book is not in the best condition. It's like worn on the spine, on the edges right here. Anyways, this book's seen better days. I do want to say thank you so much to HarperCollins for sending me, specifically Harper Voyager, for sending me this lovely edition of this book. Okay, so let's talk about the cover, y'all. I really like this cover. I'm a fan of blues and greens. Green's probably my favorite color, but I'm a fan of blues and greens a lot. I love this kind of mystery, like this, it's shrouded in darkness. You got this man right here, and he's got his dragon and his sword, and it's shrouded in darkness, and this is the main character of the book. And if you look closely, you can see he's like breathing out. He's breathing out, like you can see his breath, and all of these things are talked about in the book and are addressed. So you really like the cover drew me in. Like I was very curious about this book because for one, dragons, hello, but for two, I'm like, ooh, who is this guy, and what is this light he's wielding in his hand, and what is this stuff coming out with his breath? So I don't know, I was intrigued by this book from the cover, from the beginning, and I'm so glad that I was picked to get a copy of this book because it was fantastic. I hate to say I'm surprised. I'm so surprised that I like this book because like I never go into a book thinking I'm not gonna like it, so I shouldn't be surprised when I like a book. But I think sometimes with new authors, and this is a new author to me, I haven't read this author before, I'm kind of weary. You know, I kind of go in like I think I'm gonna like the book, but, you know, this is a new author. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I don't know if I like their writing and their style and their worlds that they build. So, you know, I kind of go into things weary, but you guys, this book was so good. I enjoy this book so much. The tone of this book changes throughout. In the very beginning of the book, I'd say very beginning, but really probably like the first third of the book, like you're into this book a long way. Like what it covers on the back, if you read the back description, I'm not going to read it because it's very long, but what it covers on the back, you're like really far into the book, like probably at least a third of the way before you know, are past the things that it mentions on the back of the book. So the beginning of the book feels very much like a Game of Thrones. It takes place in a castle, and the Sabine Empire is the controlling empire, and you're following Jay, who is this guy right here. He is the main character you follow, and he used to be the son of a ruler of a different kingdom, and this Sabine Empire has conquered his kingdom, killed his father and kept him captive. And you don't get actually like that. You just know it from the beginning because of the conversations and things that are said, and that the things that Jay lets you in on. You don't actually witness that stuff happening. That was in the past, and you're following Jay in like a current time setting. He's in this castle, and he's made to be like the assistant to a ruler that killed his father. But the ruler that killed his father is very old, and he has since passed his crown down to his son. So he's still alive, but he has passed his crown down, and his son is the one ruling the kingdom at the moment. And his grandson is next in line. So you actually have 3 generations of these rulers in the beginning of this book at the time. And the grandson is slated to marry a princess from another court and another kind of land or kingdom that has not been conquered yet. They are 2 separate kingdoms, but they're trying to form an alliance to work together and kind of strengthen each other. So the grandson is betrothed to the princess of this other kingdom. And this other kingdom is known for their dragons. They can raise dragons and follow dragons and kind of work with the dragons, and it's called soulbound. They get soulbound to these dragons. And in this book, people can be soulbound to several different types of creatures. It's not just dragons. And when you're soulbound to a creature, you can kind of feel their emotions. You can communicate, not necessarily with words, but you can communicate with emotions. And you can even, some of them can even kind of see what the other animal is seeing. So you're really bonded. If you're soulbound with these animals, you're really bonded to these animals, and they just become your best friends and your companions. So further into the book, and I'm not considering this a spoiler because it is on the back, even though it is more like a third of the way into this book, there is I'll call it a disturbance at the castle, and Jay sees an opportunity to escape. So he escapes and gets out of this castle, and it's very dramatic. His escape is very dramatic, and he is pissed off for reasons I'm not going to divulge because I don't want to spoil anything, but he's pissed off and he manages to escape. And when he escapes, he stumbles upon a dragon egg. Once this dragon hatches, he gets a soul bound to it. And you're following his adventure. And, you know, these other characters come along, like there is the handmaid to the princess also escapes, and they run into each other later down the road in this book, and they decide that they're trying to kind of get out of this empire because they are being hunted down, like especially the handmaiden. They don't want her escaping because of the knowledge that she has, so they're being hunted, and they're trying to escape and get to a land that is out from under control of the Sabine Empire. And you're following their journey to do that. And there are just some very gray, morally gray characters in this book, but you can't help but love them. And you know, this is a rough world, and you know, I'm just all about that. I love fantasy novels for this reason, that you're just transported to this whole other world where anything's possible, and the characters are not good, the characters are not bad, the characters are who they are, and they are, you know, you just can't help but, you know, relate to them in some ways, but also keep it at a distance because you know it's not real life. But I really enjoyed this book. I think this book should be on any fantasy person's radar. It is part of a series. There is going to be at least another book coming out. I don't want to say the book ends on a cliffhanger, but it leaves you wanting more. Okay, it's not necessarily a cliffhanger, but you definitely want to continue reading the next book in the series when you get done with this book. And that's really all I have to say about that. If you guys have questions about this book, or if you have picked it up, please let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious if you have read this author before. From what I can see, I think he did some young adult stuff. I don't know if he's done a lot of adult books, but I really enjoyed this author, and I would be interested in reading more from him if you guys have any recommendations.